Hello, everyone. Welcome to the ASBAS iPhone video production workshop. We are on to editing now. I see we've got 6 people in the room so far. If everyone could just let me know if you can hear me okay, and then everything is sort of coming through before we start the presentation. Welcome to you all on this if you're in Victoria, very overcast Tuesday morning. If everyone can just jump into the chat room, well, not everybody, but anyone can just jump into the chat room and just let me know that you can hear me okay before we get started on the presentation. If you've done one of these before, you'll know I sort of have to move between chat and onto the slides and everything, so we go a bit of back and forth, but always feel free. Excellent, thank you, Natalie. Great that you can hear me, thank you. So we move back and forth, thank you, Charles. If you've been in on the scripting and the filming, you sort of know how this is all going to. I love being able to get your questions throughout, so you don't have to leave any questions to the end. Ask questions throughout, and I'll move back and forth between the slides and the chat room so I can see it all. Hi, Karen, thanks for coming along. So we'll just keep on moving back and forth. So I'll keep on coming back to the chat room and answer questions throughout, and we'll go from there. So I'll get the presentation up and started if we're all good to go. Also in the chat room, of course, make sure that during breaks and everything, you can put your name, your business name, either like an Instagram or Facebook link or your website. Let us get to know you guys as much as possible. Obviously, we don't really have access to sort of chat or anything like that. The only access is the chat room, which means I can't see you, which sort of sucks a little bit. But you know, use this as a session to be able to meet and greet and potentially find other businesses that you can work with. So let's start the presentation. I feel like we've got more people in the room, so welcome to iPhone video production. We're dealing with editing on your iPhone today, or on your smartphone, sorry, it's not going to be iPhone specific. We're going with the full sort of smartphone range because all of the apps that we'll work through are all ones that you can get on your phone, no matter if you've got a Samsung, any kind of Android, as well as the iOS. So this is from Melbourne Innovation Centre, the ASBAS Digital Solutions Program. So it's an advisory service, so you guys have access to a whole range of different mentors from different industries to help you with anything that's going on with your small business. So we can learn things along the way. We know as small business owners, we have to pretty much know everything, and we have to eventually learn to delegate. But at the beginning, you know, we need to know everything, and we're passionate and excited about our businesses. So we do want to know everything as well. So there's a range of workshops, there's webinar, there's online materials, and there's actually mentoring as well that you can access to actually have some one-on-one with one of the mentors that you may feel connected with, or you need more information from their industry. So my name is Rauch. I'm the owner and director of Flip Switch Media. So we're content creators and we specialize in video. So a full video production suite through to animation. I've been in the industry for 20 years, so across TV and feature films, moving into online content and production there, and writing and filming. And I also have a degree in digital marketing. So what we're going to cover today is everything that's going to be important when it comes to filming any kind of video, creating videos on your phone, which makes it so much easier to create, you know, your own videos and create regular content for your social and your marketing. So we're going to look at different formats and platforms. We're going to look at the editing apps, so which ones are best. We're going to go through iMovie, and we're going to go through InShot. And yes, I've said on your iPhone in these ones. However, it's exactly the same format on your Androids as well. When we are watching it, we're going to go through step by step of all the different features on iMovie and InShot. And hopefully if you've got your phone with you, which I highly recommend, sit with it, go through it, and follow on your phone as well while we're going through those quick little seminars. We're also going to talk about text and graphics and colors and bringing that branding into your videos so that you can add something a little bit different, adding some, adding logos at the end, adding colors throughout to make it more specifically yours and really, really suit your brand and suit your business. Some businesses, can use emojis and sparkly GIFs and things like that, whereas other businesses that might be, pushing out of the professional a little bit too much. So we can talk about the differences in that and how it can affect your business and affect your marketing. Again, feel free to ask questions throughout the whole seminar. I'll keep on going back and forth between the slides and the chat, so I will be able to get to your questions, as quickly as I can. So for the people that didn't come along to the filming seminar a couple of weeks ago, I'm just going to do a very, very quick overview of filming on your phone. Obviously, the benefits are endless when it comes to being able to create your own videos on your phone. You've got easy access. Your camera is always with you. Being able to have that in your pocket or your bag straight away, it's not an extra sort of element or equipment that you have to be sort of bringing around with you. It's right there in your pocket. It's really quick to post. A lot of the apps that I'm going to talk through today give you access directly to your Instagram or Facebook, or straight up there on your phone and then post separately, but it's all in one. You're filming, you're editing, and you're posting all on the one device. And you don't need to be a pro. We're talking the sort of everyday behind the scenes sort of content, little bits and pieces to keep you at front of mind in front of your audience. So you and your staff can create it on your own. You don't need to be a pro. We're not talking sort of promotional videos that, would be used for advertising or, for those everyday, highly timeless pieces of content. We're talking that everyday Instagram type of stories content that you don't need to be a professional. You just be ready to show your personality and show what's going on in the business. And it's on the go. You can gather and collate that footage for your business every single day. So it's everyday fun content that's right there in your pocket. For audio, so in the filming seminar, we also talked a little bit about audio and the importance of that. So audio is not automatic on your social video, so don't rely on it. So make sure that, you don't, everything's not going to be in written form without any captions. You're not chatting away with no other options of the visuals. And quality is important as well for audio. If you are going to speak in the videos, make sure that people can understand you. So if they do make the effort to click on the video to listen to the audio, they can clearly hear what you are saying. So that may be an upgrade in your audio equipment, or just making sure you're in a nice quiet space that's not going to be too echoey or affect your audio in too many ways. When it comes to filming, we talked about these two, portrait versus landscape. So landscape, where you've got more room for the background context. So this is more natural to the eye because this is how we've been watching TVs for a very long time. Facebook, YouTube, Vimeo, and your website will rather the landscape kind of look and shape to it. As you can see, you get so much more context of what's going on, like where those people are within that landscape. And it tells more of a story. But your everyday content that you're seeing, so Instagram stories, Facebook stories, are all in that portrait mode. So it's obviously, it's the skinnier mode so that your phone is upright. I guess because a lot of people, that's, how you read your phone. It's not often that people will turn to watch videos. So it's a longer, tighter format, but it is more focused on a central character or a central space. You can't get as much in to the frame when you're in portrait mode. We also talked about composition as well, so making sure that you gave your subject some space and some headroom. So they were some examples that we put up there. So you can see where the focus points are. You've seen where like lighting has sort of been placed when someone is speaking. So in the top left-hand one, he's obviously he's having a conversation, maybe with an interviewer, but there's a space that his face isn't actually too squished up. He's got a nice, comfortable sort of setting to be in within that. So those are things to be taking into account when you're doing your filming as well on your phone before you get to editing. Lighting as well is a very, very big point and can change your videos from being really difficult to watch and very amateurish to looking a lot more professional, and a lot more effort has been put into them. Makes it a lot easier to look at. The 6 p.m. direction of light is the full face of light, and so that's the one we want to get. So we want to make sure your lighting is directed to your face or onto the subject to make sure that that's what is lit up, and that's what's easier for the phone. So in any circumstance, the phone is still not as high quality as a professional camera. So lighting is how it finds its focus point. So wherever the light is most and easiest for the camera on your phone to pick up, the more it's likely to focus on that point. So if you can make sure the light is on your face, yes, in sunlight you may end up being a little bit squinty, but I would recommend not filming in summer at 12 o'clock in the afternoon, because you will get very squinty and it's very hot and very bright. But always try and aim natural lights, desk lights, mirror lights towards your face. And these are the apps we talked about as well for filming on your smartphone. Obviously, you're just going to be using your normal smartphone camera. That's all you really need these days. You can use teleprompter services, so Big View, Teleprompter for Video, or Teleprompter Premium allow you to actually have the audio captions, the roll captions through, so that you can read as you are filming, meaning one less thing to worry about. You don't have to remember your script. You don't have to sort of, if you struggle to go off dot points, you've got another option, which is really handy. And as I said, it does auto captioning for you as well. And transcriptions and captioning can also get done at rev.com for very, very cheap and very, very quick. So I highly recommend that service. So let's move into formats and platforms. Any questions from that filming section? Just sort of moved on because we already did that. Cool. So formats and platforms. So Facebook, you're going for a square or landscape mode. So stories is obviously in the portrait. Facebook, the actual posting, sitting within the square space, or a landscape more preferred. That seems to be sort of, where they're sitting. So that is the top photo. Instagram, you're going with square. And I'm going through all of this because you'll see once we get to the editing apps, you can actually choose your canvas and you can choose your shape. So once you're in the editing apps, you can actually put them into the correct mode depending on the platform you're intending to use the video for, or you duplicate it into different formats for all of the different platforms that you're going to use. Okay, so for Instagram, you're wanting to do a square for posting, and stories is portrait mode. And the reason I want you to think about this is because when you are filming, you need to consider what might get cut down if you're filming in landscape mode. What might you lose in the frame when you're filming if you're cutting it down into a square or to a portrait mode? So they're the things to think about, and you may need to sort of readjust where it is on the frame within the editing app. LinkedIn is landscape mode as well. IGTV, if you're moving into that sort of video platform, they go 19 by 16. So they had to go and be all different on us and weird on us. So let's get into editing. So what can you do? So why are you going to do it on your phone? We've already talked about it. It's easy access and instant editing with access to your camera roll. So each of the editing apps, you'll allow access to your camera roll, so you can just bam, bam, bam. Those are the videos I need to put together in this timeline and put it together. It's so much easier to do. So you can do most types of very, very simple editing on your phone. You can do clipping, where you're clipping together different videos and photos into one timeline to create one longer video. You can add text and captions to those videos to make sure that you have the visual presence of the sounds and what you're actually talking about. You can add some actual color and things into that as well, so you don't have to be reliant on sound. Graphics and emojis, so you can add some branding in there. You can add fun emojis, and adding in some additional designs that actually define your video and make the video specifically yours. And what that's going to do as well is going to actually make sure that no one's actually just cutting and copying your video online as well. Animation. So there's going to be some apps that will allow you to actually create your own animations. There's ones that are specifically animation creator ones, like Procreate and things, but there's ones that you can actually create the animations in the editing as well if you're just doing something very, very simple in the app. And music as well, they've all got royalty-free music as added in options within the app itself. So that's a great thing to add to your video, and knowing it's royalty free means it's not going to get pulled off YouTube. It's not going to get pulled off all of the platforms for going against musical authority or anything like that. So that's always handy to know that you've got options for music there that you don't have to worry about if you're going to be damaging licensing agreements. It's all there ready for you. And most of the music's actually pretty good. Like, it's not as bad as it used to be. Where there's not as much elevator music, really, if you want to put it that way. So these are the best editing apps for your phone. So these are ones that I use. These are the ones I teach, and these are ones that not just I talk about these ones, but they're highly recommended within a lot of the production world and marketing world as well to use on your phone, just because they're so simple and so easy to do. So there's iMovie. So iMovie is free, so it comes with your iPhone. You will need to download it if you have an Android, but it has built-in templates that you can use as well as the main plain timeline. So you can actually have a play with, creating movie trailer style videos for your business. They've got a lot of different options in there as well for you to actually have a starting point and come up with some different styles. iMovie is very, very simple. It's a great one to use. And because it's free, it's a good starter place. It doesn't have as many features as the other ones I'm going to talk about, but it's a good starter. And if all you're doing is creating videos where you're going to be speaking to camera and then maybe putting a logo animation on the end, that would definitely be the one to go with. InShot. So this one's really, really creative. So it's really great for Instagram and doing reels and things like that. I know reels you can do within Instagram yourself, but this is also a handy way to be doing it. So it's free with a watermark. It's only $2.99 to remove that watermark. So I really don't think that's too big of a deal, especially for what you get within this video editing app. You can create so much with it. It comes with extra music. It comes with GIFs. And it's so simple to use as well. We're going to run through that InShot program as well today, so you'll get to have a step-by-step on this too. So Splice is also free. It's very, very fast. It allows for multi-tracking of the audio and everything as well. So if you are going to be moving in, I guess, dealing with sort of music and want to do things that are very maybe music clip style, a little bit funky, this is a good one to be doing because it allows you to do multi-audio tracks as well. So even if you've done sort of an interview and you've used two different audios for an interview, so you've actually separated out the interviewer and the interviewee, this might be the one to use because you can clean up the audio separately, which is kind of handy to do if need be. So I quite like Splice as well. We probably won't get a chance to run through that one today, but it is one that you can, because it's free, you can download that from the App Store as well and just have a play with it and see if you like it. Rauch is the big one. So to me, this is my favorite one. This is the one that is closest to professional as you can get on your phone. It is a monthly spend, but if you are looking to be doing a lot of videos, this is definitely one to be, maybe investing in. It is created by Adobe. Adobe Creative Suite is the ones a lot of professionals actually use as our software. It's very simple editing. There's motion graphics in there. The great thing about this one is the color grading. The other three just allow for filters, whereas on Adobe Rauch, you can actually color grade directly on your phone, which means you can actually add that professional element to it as well. So if you've done any editing in the past, if you have dabbled a bit of an amateur in video, I would recommend moving on to using Adobe Rauch just to take it up that next level. But of course, this is totally up to you. So hoping for some tips on Splice. Awesome, Pamela. I'll try to go through it. It's sort of the platform that's going to make it a little bit hard. But yes, so let's play with Splice. I'll do what I can, but I don't have a specific video for it. But it may be one I could maybe send you later, Pamela. Are there any other questions before we move on? Is there anything specifically within editing that anyone is looking for? Like, is there a specific type of style or edit that you guys are looking to create, a specific type of video that you're looking to create that I can help you guys with online? If so, just pop it up into the chat room and we'll add it in. And I apologize for the dog. So let's move on to actually going through step by step on iMovie. Oh no, we have a question. Is there a program where we can do split screen editing? You can, are you wanting to split the screen in your video? Or are you trying to multicam? It depends what you're trying to do with the split screen. Like if you're trying to edit sort of two videos together side by side for the end product, or I'll get back to you, Sprinkle. Okay. So let's go through iMovie.
So in this tutorial, I'll be showing you how you can easily edit your videos on your phone using the app iMovie. So it's really simple. You go to your iMovie app, you press that plus that's in the left-hand corner, pick Movie, choose a video that you've already pre-recorded, press Create Movie at the bottom, skip all the way through to the front. So basically your best bet is that you've filmed everything and you're happy with the whole cut and you can run through. So this is me just having a run through and having a looking at and seeing where I want to cut. You can press split, delete the little section that you don't want and continue on. So that's me cleaning up the beginning of it. Now we can go to the end and clean up how I finished the video. So again, it's yellow. We can just drag it across to where it is best finished. And it's done. Simple as that. So there's two different ways that you can edit the top and bottom of the video. You can do this in the middle. You can split and delete sections. You can change through any of the transitions. However, I don't need to do that. I did one good take, so I'm happy with that. I then go back into my videos section and into my favorites and I grab my logo. I use the plus symbol and I add it to the end. And this way I've also got a logo at the end of the video. I then go back and delete the section of the logo I don't want anymore. There we go, split and delete. I change my transition from dissolve into none because I don't really like the fade in, fade out kind of look. Clean up and check the ends. And then here I'll just go through and make sure I'm happy with the length of it and how long it takes. I'm going to delete the end of this because I think it's just going slightly too long. Yep, I'm happy with that. So now we'll just go to done. I give it a title. We'll call this one test video. And down on the bottom, I use the middle symbol to click save video. I'll usually do HD 1080p because that's the highest and best quality of the video, and I think that works really well for Facebook and social. And that's it. That's how you create and edit your video on your phone.
Okay. There we go. So does anybody have any questions for iMovie? I'm just going to give you guys 10 minutes just to have a play, start to drop in some of your own videos and just move things over the timelines. You'll see like the video is quite short because it is really quite simple of use across the timeline, adding music in and things like that. So have a play with that for about 10 minutes. If there's any questions, add it into the chat room. Sprinkle, I don't know if you've noticed, I've added in to the chat room. So Adobe Rush will let you do a split screen. InShot will actually allow you to layer two videos together. So there are other ways to add royalty-free music. You can actually upload or download. If you go into the YouTube library, Shutterstock, or artlist.io, you can actually purchase all different types of royalty-free music. Artlist is a subscription, so unless you're going to do it a lot, that's probably not really the one, but Shutterstock will allow you to purchase royalty-free music. So you can choose maybe a couple that are your favorites and match in with your brand and actually upload them onto your phone and have them ready to go. But otherwise, iMovie's got a very limited choice of the types of royalty-free music that you can use. Yeah. And don't forget, you're not going to need music in every single video that you create as well, because we're not relying on audio. It's just a nice little extra to have when you are creating videos. Any other questions about iMovie? I'll let you guys have a play. So just keep on playing on your phone. If you've got any questions, pop it up in the chat room. I'm going to have a play too. Yes, Pamela, if you're using music a lot, maybe do have a look at artlist.io. It's just a subscription base, so you can end up getting stacks and stacks of music for the exact same price every single year. So that is a really handy one to have. I would also recommend, picking maybe 4 or 5 tracks that you really, really like and putting them on repeat, because remember, not everyone is going to watch every single video, not everyone is going to notice the music every single time, or even, be troubled by music that may be a repeat of ones that you've used before. So it's not something that you have to have a different track for every single video. A lot of the time, they're not going to be listening to the audio. They may only be watching captions, or they're just actually not going to notice. It's only you that's going to have to listen to it over and over and over again when you're going through your editing process. Good. Yeah. And I know we are all on a budget as small business owners. I know that's it's important to do things as cheaply as possible. But you do remember, if it's free and it's cheap for a reason, sometimes making an investment is a really important thing to do. And being able to make an investment may make you stand out from the crowd. It may make things easier for you in the long run later down the track. There's so many different things that could be a benefit to actually making an investment in the videos and the content that you create. The better the content can look, the more likely that more people will stay interested and keep watching as well. So I think it's important to not just automatically be looking for free options just because we're broke small business owners. Sometimes there is a time to make an investment and to sometimes even delegate the task as well. So just because I've automatically said that some things you have to pay for doesn't mean that's a bad thing. Yeah, I know I'm a small business owner as well, so I know it's difficult. But remember, you're creating all these videos yourself. There may be ways to actually invest and take these videos and this content to the next level to really impress your audience, and even get it to a point where you can create videos that are going to be good enough to advertise across Facebook and Instagram to build up your business. How did you all go with iMovie? Pretty simple? Yeah. So our next video that we're going to look at is using InShot. Again, questions throughout, and make sure you're playing with your phone and using your phone the whole time. If you haven't had a chance to upload and download this app, obviously just keep watching in the video and see if you do want to download it. You may not be like me and have like millions and millions and millions of meg of space on your phone because you're creating videos all the time. So you have to get the biggest phone you possibly could. So you might not even have space on your phone. So that's totally okay. But watch the video, see what you think about InShot, see if you like it, and then you can download it from there as well. So let's move on to that video.
So let's go through the program InShot, which is a great one to use. You can go to new. As you can see, this is what I've done. You pick your video in your lineup, and even before you even go into the program, you can trim and make a difference, so take the top and tail off the end of your videos as I'm just moving it back and forth on the arrows. I then press the green button for yes, and we move in and it starts to prep and prepare the video. So this might take some time as it gets the video into its app program. You may choose more than one video at this point, so you can choose maybe 2 or 3 of the clips, even 4 or 5 clips that are in your camera roll to put into the video. You can also just start with just picking one, because as I will show later on in the program, there is a plus sign that allows you to add other clips on as you go. Excellent. So now we're into the program, and you can see across the top is all different options. I like to start with Canvas. The Canvas allows you to size to whatever app you're intending to put it onto. It even has the logos there, so you can see there's YouTube 16:9. I like to go with the square. I just got a few more options with that. You can pinch in to zoom in and out, so you've seen me moving around there. So that's me just pinching it. If you go to background, you can then have a play with any section of it that's not the video. So we can add colors there. We can blur out as well. We can add a gradient, maybe even some patterns, something funky. That doesn't fit with my brand, so I usually just leave it as is. So you can pinch here as well, so it's changed the shape. Zoom as well allows you to change the shape and match the canvas. But I usually just use ratio and then leave it as is with sort of white or a blur background. I can then go through and just move around across the bar and see what's going on in the video. So you can easily just move that along with your finger. Next on the list is then music. So we have music options. There's tracks that you can choose from. You can attach it to your iTunes. So you can give the app access to your iTunes, or you can choose some funny effects that match in with your video. You can also record directly. So you can see here that now goes red, and that will have a recording over it. I'm not doing that today, so I've left that alone. And again, you can use different sections where you may want to record something over the top of a video. We can also add in some really fun little emojis. I usually wouldn't for an information-based video like this, but for fun, let's just choose this really weird
laughing one. So you click on it, it pops it up onto the screen. You can then pinch and move it around wherever you need, twist it around, make it as big as you want. And as you can see now down in the player, you can actually choose how long the emoji is on there for, or the GIF is on there for, as well as where it is on the page. You can also add in text. So here I can add in, say, video strategies. And then it gives you options on different background, different colors, shadows, borders, opacity, whatever matches your brand and suits your brand. You can brand the video exactly how you want. So I'll usually go with my teal brand colors or with just plain white. With a normal background, again, you can then change the font, and you can also place this wherever you like. Another fun thing to do is you can actually play with it and have it moving in, looping around, have a few little fun time with the effects. I'm going to leave this one as basic for now. I then move that around the screen to exactly where I want it to be. And again, same as the emojis, you can make it last on the screen for as long as you want to. So you can pull that out, you can split it, and so that you can move a section and maybe have that text come up again later. And you can go to that second duplicated or split text, change the words, rearrange it. So let's just go with, let's delete strategies and pop in workshops. Perfect. Awesome. So you've got video workshops there, earlier video strategies. You can also do filters. So exactly the same as most social media videos, there are a few different effects and things that you can do. There's beats and things. It does have other features that need to be unlocked and paid for, but the basic features are all there. You can do distortions, you can try different glitches, whatever you like. Filters is going to be exactly the same as sort of Instagram videos where you've got different colors and overlays. You can also adjust it manually yourself to add some warmth. I'm just going to have a play with it to show you guys so we can make it very purple and weird. We can add colors, we can do some strange curves. It depends, it's totally up to you how technical and how much detail you want to put into the colors. So once you actually press on your video at the bottom profile there, it'll have the white line around it, which will allow you to start doing some other edits directly to the video. So I can change like the volume. Last year I got a really great response. You can press the button down there and actually extract the audio itself so it's separate to the video, which just allows you to fix and change the audio itself but not the actual vision. So you can have a play with that, maybe make some cuts, maybe put the volume down in certain sections or volume up in other sections. So I'm just going to move this to the end and move it around so you can see what it's all happening. Because it's all white around the outside of the video, I can now do other things like change the speed. So I can make the videos faster, I can split them, I can rotate them, I can do really strange effects like flipping, freezing it or reversing it. So this is freezing, so all it does is going to hold that frame. And again, I can extend out how far I want the freezing to go, what sections of the video I want to freeze, all with just a movement of the finger across your timeline. This last year. So this is the section that's not frozen, and it's now been split from the section that I have made frozen. And I can easily just move around, speed up and go to the sections that I want. See, at the end, I can then press the plus symbol while at the end of the timeline and choose a logo that I would like, pop that on there and then save the video. So that's going to save it as an original video straight to your Photos app, so it's there on your phone. Perfect. So then it just goes to here, so you can actually put it directly into your Instagram, your Facebook, messenger it to someone. I'll usually just leave it and go straight to the app directly and use it from there.
Sorry, everyone, talking the whole time. I've got the sound back. All right, so we've got sound back. So what I was just actually going through was the updates that are on InShot. Have we not? Is sound back? Cool. So I was going through InShot and the new updates that it's got on it. So they've updated it to have some really cool new features. So where there's one that's called PIP, so you can actually split screen and do videos on top of videos. So you can actually sort of, push around. So that's an extra video I've picked up, and you can actually do the pinching in and rearrange two separate videos onto the one screen. So you can easily do a split screen on InShot now, which is absolutely awesome. You can do different keyframes. So a keyframe, so it's actually, so what I've done, so I've got this, the top, I don't know if you can tell, but in my timeline, I have the white, so I've got that top one highlighted, which is the one you can see on the screen here. So what I can do is play with the keyframe, which either makes it opaque or full. So you can actually rearrange that. So I can play with that as well. Oops, so let's click that again. You can do different edits, all the same usual edits. You can do those on the separate different videos. You can add, sort of do a mask and everything as well. So I can actually make that a circle shape, have that on top, and rearrange that. So you can actually do it in a different frame to whatever your background video is, or photo. So if you actually want to pick a photo to be as a background and have a video over the top in like a circular or a little love heart even, it gives you so much creativity, which is why InShot is so good. If you're going to be focusing on, oops, sorry, I'm playing with chroma key now. So a chroma key does some really cool things. So you can see it play with the strength and moved around and adjust it. Again, all stuff for you to just play with and have a go. So you can move shadows and readjust shadows within the Chrome as well on this. So you can swap and place and play around and change things on the timeline. So if I go through the timeline, you can see all the differences. So it's all a little bit weird. Not a video I would probably put up online, but definitely one to play with. So if you do take the opportunity, so even if you do, just so you know as well, you can make sure that you can apply things to all clips. So you see at the bottom, there's a yellow there. If you are going to put a filter over the top, you can easily do it across both clips. It doesn't have to be separate. So there is a lot more to play with on InShot as well. So if you have downloaded it, go ahead and have a play. I'm going to let you guys have a 10-minute play with it and try all the different effects, try all the different emojis, see which ones you like, have a play with the sizing of things and the different canvases. Just go nuts. No, this isn't one that you're going to probably put online yet. Just have a play with it. And if you have any questions, pop them up on the chat room. Hey Susan, so how you do square video is, so I'll just go back on this one. So say, so I've got InShot up here. So down the bottom, your first one is called Canvas. So if you click on Canvas, you'll have all of the different options of the different frames that you can put your videos into. So if you do 1:1, so they've even got on there, they've got the symbols of the different places that those formats work in. So the first two in the 1:1 or 4:5 are the square format. So I can click on that. If I want to go into 16:9, it readjusts it there. So you can see the difference there. So if I do square, or that's down into landscape. So you want the 1:1. And then to fill the hole, I find it easier to just 2 fingers on the screen and pinch. Okay. And then you can just move and readjust wherever you want the frame to be. So that's how you make it square. Cool. And just a reminder as well, the double arrow on this side, when you're making any changes to your video, that will apply it to all of the different clips that you've put into your video format. And the one will just happen to that one particular clip. So if I had just clicked that one arrow, it would only change the canvas on this clip. Whereas if I click that one, it comes up with apply to all. So all of the different clips that I've popped in will go onto that, will go into that canvas frame. How do you fade out at the end of a video? So what you do is you can move to the end of the video. There's a few different ways you can do that. So move to the end of the video. If I click on it. So if I have it clicked on, so you can see that it's white now, that little line, can you see that? So that little line there, if I click on that, it will come up with all these different options. You should be able to run through. Come on. Oh, oops, there we go. Sorry. Don't mind me. So it should allow you, so if you click on the clip, and you can move into the transitions. Ugh. There we go. So you pull up transitions and you can pick any of the ones. So maybe that one, which does that. Apply to all. Oh, it didn't apply to the end. I lied. Oh, that's interesting. Okay. Oh. Aha, sorry, I forgot. If you go to that plus symbol, right on the edge there, so if you click on that, you can either choose blank or video and photo. So you choose blank at the top there, which is what I've done. So you can see like it's all that crisscross line, right? Which means that now there's a little option of a transition button there. So then I click on that, and it comes up with a transition, which will allow you to do a fade out. Okay. So you can, there we go. So you can do all different fade outs that way. Cool. So that puts that transition at the end. So you'll have a fade out at the end. Cool. Okay. If you're doing it for social media, Majority of the time, I wouldn't actually worry about putting a fade out at the end of the video anyway. Have your logo come up, because most of the time it'll actually repeat. Can you make the music fade out too? Yes, you can. So you can do that as well. So you can, once you go into the musics, you can pick a track. Sure, let's do Pina Colada. Why not? Oh, anyway. Oops, I'm in the purchase section. Yes, so you should be able, the transition button should come up exactly the same, but on the music track line. So you can do the fade outs as well. But as I was about to say, I wouldn't usually bother putting a fade out at the end of a video that you're going to put up on social media, because it's going to do a repeat anyway or move out of somebody's feed. So yeah, so if it's a tourism style video or anything, you'd put your logo as the end final screen, so that stays up so that they sort of notice what it is. So if it's your logo or if it's a client logo, I would put that at the end or have it finish on a nice frame. It doesn't really need to fade to black, because we're not moving into another program or anything like that. They'll either be moving onto their feed or it'll start doing an autoplay repeat, so it'll go on a loop. So you don't really need to worry about having fade outs at the end of a video anymore. Yeah, but have a go with it. Test them out, check them out online as well. Do your research. So go and have a check about what other people are doing, what competitors are doing, what other industries are doing. See what other types of videos that people are creating. Like Allbirds, it's all professional videos, but they do some really great little pieces. And One Basketball does some really great pieces. There's a lot of different things online that you can go and have a look at. Pamela, if you're doing tourism style videos, go and see what Visit Great Ocean Road are doing, or Destination Surf Coast. See the types of videos that they're doing, to get an idea of the different things that you can do. I know on a lot of those videos, it's a lot of fun. Check out what they're doing, see what you can do to try and, and do those styles. Do the styles of videos that you like, as well as what's going to suit your industry. So I know that most people are not going to download Rauch right now, because obviously there is a payment on it of $9.99 a month, but I am still going to run it through so you can have a look and see the differences in this one. The thing that I like most about Rauch is that the timeline is a lot bigger than in the other videos as well. So it's just visually easier for you to be able to see when the timeline is bigger, and you can make those adjustments and rearrange it. You can do sort of multi-tracking and everything in this as well. So I am going to run through that video with you. So feel free to have a watch of the video, and then we can have a chat about that afterwards.
So let's run through Adobe Rauch. So I've put together a timeline. There's 3 videos on here that I've put together as a sequence. They have audio attached, so I'll just quickly run it through it. The highlight means that that's the clip that you can work on. So you can click on different clips to work specifically on them. I'm just going to pinch them apart so you can see that you can make the timeline bigger and smaller and check the clips and move them around. Now, when I click on it, you have the option of split, duplicate, separate, or delete. So this is me separating out the audio because I don't want the background noise that have come with each of these clips. So I'll do it again. So we separate the audio, which then drops into that second timeline, and we can delete from there. We'll do it again for this clip. Okay, so now we have 3 clips all together without any sound on them. So I'm just pinching them to make it smaller, and I can see more of the timeline. And you'll see all the highlighted sections of each clip. So we can pick one up, adjust it, move it around, move it within the timeline that you would like. Now at the bottom is where you've got all of your controls. So your graphics, effects, colors, etc. You can change the speed of things. For this one, I'm going to look at adding some graphics. So we'll add maybe a title, but in here you've got your overlays, your transition graphics, and then the titles at the top. So there's lots of different options for you to have a play with and add in some branding and colors. I'm just going to go with a simple one for now. So you'll see it comes up on a sequence right above it. So from there we can adjust it. At the bottom is where you can change the name of it and add in more details. So I can put in the title of my holiday. Click OK on that one. And at the bottom there you can see you can change the fonts. You can change the font size. These are the Adobe fonts I've got in there. So let's put it into, let's go with Helvetica. Okay, so you can see there, so that's all of the different options you have for fonts, and you can change the sizing of it and make it fit. So all I'm doing is moving my finger from left to right to see what it looks like on the timeline and adjust where I would like the title to come up. So I don't want it straight away. I'm making it a little bit shorter so that it goes across in this section. So we're going to play with the font size a bit as well to change what size the title comes up as. So you've got plenty of room to move around with that. You can always make sure to download or upload in your company's fonts and things like that, so you don't have to use what's actually within Rauch. So now we're going to go with the transition graphics. So I'm going to put a little transition in just to show. So let's go with this colorful one here. And that will end up on the timeline above the videos. So you can see what it does to allow a little bit of movement between. So I'm going to need some space between the title and that transition. So we'll adjust that, make it just slightly shorter, rearrange to where it needs to go. Great. So we can see it moving through the timeline. So now I'm going to use this clip to show you all the different color grading options. So there's filters across the top that you can use automatically, or you can actually color grade yourself, changing the intensity and saturation and things like that. So that's the great thing about Rauch, is that you do have that option to really add that professionalism to your edited videos. So I'm going to readjust. I'm going to play with the exposure on here as well, and then saturation to really brighten that up. Go across and check what else is there. The same with all other editing apps. It's really about playing all of the different effects and things that you can do. So here I'm going to play in soundtracks as well. I'm going to add a soundtrack. Have a little fun with it. Anything that's automatically in Rauch is royalty free, so you know that you're going to be able to use it.
Yes, come on, shorty, let's go.
So let's space it out again, so I can duplicate this transition. It's ended up on a timeline above, so I can move that across and put it in where I need it to go. So I'll show you what it's like once it's in the actual timeline with the video as well, so you can see the difference that that can make.
Yes, come on, shorty, let's go. Girl, I see you over there in the corner of the dance floor, and I know you're acting shy, looking at the corner of your eye.
Or you can add in maybe a cross dissolve or things like that that are at the bottom of the timeline. So I'm going to make this clip shorter because it doesn't need to be that long. And then we're going to shorten the music clip as well, because again, it doesn't need to be that long. So it's just about dragging it to the length it needs to be. And we're finishing it there. So it's all in time and looking very nice. Again, there's so many other effects and options and transitions that you can play with within Adobe Rauch. So I recommend you just pulling in some clips and having a play. The great thing about it as well is when you're ready to export, you can change the quality settings. So you can actually go in and make it a 4K, 30 frame ratio or 1080p, which hits into the professional video outputs, so you can use that across YouTube and make sure you don't get any sort of weird compressions. Also great for sort of your websites and things like that. So it'll render out. If you are going to go the 4K, you'll see it takes slightly longer, but it will be worth it. Or keep it in the shorter range if you're going to be using it across social media. And that's it. So you can see you can actually go directly to YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, etc. from the app, or you can just save it to your phone and then go into the apps yourself.
Okay, so that was for Rauch. So we had a question back about InShot and using music and how to put music in with InShot. So I will just show you guys that one. Oops. So once you're in this main timeline, so you'll see the second one along is called music on that bottom timeline. So you just click onto music, and at the top you've got options of tracks, effects, or record. So you'll see from the videos in there, you can actually put a record track over the top of the video. So you can put clips all together, do a whole timeline and everything, and then actually record directly into InShot. So you can actually do your voice over the top of the visions straight away. So that's a really, really handy one to be doing. So if you're doing like a how-to video, you could do, you know, a video flat lay and show an example of how your product works and actually speak and do the instructions over the top of the video. So that's a really great way of actually being able to add different elements together. But in this one, we're going to be looking at tracks. So we're going with this first top one. You click on tracks. All of the different options that come within that are going to, like, they'll be featured, I guess, tracks within InShot. So there's heaps of different ones in here. Some of them you'll have to pay for. Others will just go straight onto your thing. So say Pina Colada. So there's a little iCloud option there. So just click on that. It comes up with use once it's downloaded. So I click on that. If I can reach around with that finger. No, I can't. So it's so much easier when it's in person because I can attach my phone to a big screen and show everybody. So that's it attached. So the music track is now on top of the timeline here. So the pink one is the music track. So a good thing to be able to do as well is that if you click on your timeline, it actually comes up with the option of you to be able to drop the volume down or release the volume. So you heard in that Rauch video that the music was very, very loud over the top of my voice. So what I could have done is drop the volume of the music and increase my recording of the audio. So at the moment, any audio tracks that have come with these clips are at 100%. I don't want to hear any of it. So that's now on silent. So now that removes any extra audio sounds that you don't want in your video. Okay, so I click the two arrows to make sure it applies across all clips. And we'll just have the Pina Colada song over the top. Okay, so you can click on the Pina Colada song and you'll see that edit and split and everything still comes up as a normal track it would across the top. So again, there's a volume button there. So you can play and readjust the volumes of the song. And at the bottom is your fade in and fade out. So you can do, so we can have maybe like so you'll see the adjustment on the actual track. So you'll see that drop in the line. So that's me playing with the fade in. So we'll give it a softer side of the track, and then fade out will happen as well. So you probably won't see it anyway because it'll be further on down the track. So there. So you can see we've got a fade in and fade out on the music as well. So you don't get that blast into your face when you're first starting the music. Which gives it a nice effect, so it's not so full on. So there's a lot of effects you can do with the music within the app itself. If you do $2.99, it's a one-off charge, and you get access to so much more music than you do if you do the free. And again, you lose the watermark as well if you do the $2.99. So it's well worth it for the $3. And just a lot more things that you can do with it. And you can duplicate it, you can have a play around with it. So let's just have an adjust and a play. If you do have Adobe Rush, feel free to have a play with it now and ask me any questions, or just keep on having a play with InShot and iMovie. See which ones are your favorites, just for sort of 10 minutes or so, and we'll move on. And I'm going to try and do my best to walk through Splice. But again, when we do it live, I've got more access to just click my phone in and make big screens for you guys. So I'll just have a play with that while you guys have a play with your new editing apps. So we've got some questions. So Susan said, what do you do to add a logo at the end of InShot? So it's exactly the same. So you need to make sure that you've got like an image of your logo on your phone in the same way that you would anything else in your camera roll. So you can always make sure to upload your logo to your phone and then save it in as a favorites or something so you can always find it. And it is just adding in that plus sign. Oops. Okay. So if you can go to the end, go to the plus sign where it says video and photo, click on, if I find, so you go through and like find where in your photos your logo is, click on it. Oh, mine's not coming up, of course. Oh, I don't know where it's gone. Okay, well, I don't know where mine's gone. So I went into albums and favorites. And so I'm just going to pretend that this photo of my dog is my logo. So the logo would then automatically come up on your phone and be attached at the bottom of your timeline. Okay, so you can, if you want it somewhere else, you can pick it up and move it. So if you go into the timeline, you can actually adjust it across. So that's not just for logo or anything, but you can readjust where clips go in the phone. So in iMovie, okay. So in iMovie, it's a little bit difficult. So you've got that really long timeline and a really small section of where your phone is. So what you do is you highlight your media. So you make sure that there's that yellow around it, and you pinch and zoom and readjust. So you can readjust it to full, so that would end up being a landscape, or you can drop it down to be in a square. Okay. So once that's stopped, oops. Okay. I'm not sure if as an extra for you guys as well, once you're in iMovie, I can't remember, we did that as well, didn't we? There's the fade in and fade out in the settings section of iMovie. So you can do that one in there as well. And that's where all the filters and things are too. Okay. So then I'd press done. And then down the bottom is your options. So you can actually play it through and see that that's a square. So iMovie, it's a little bit more difficult to get the right canvas size than the other two. It's sort of really, it's set for you to sort of do more speaking than anything else. Not a huge amount of movement when it comes to actually shaping it for the different formats and things. So that's sort of your limit within iMovie. Again, it's free, so it's not a huge amount of options there for you to work with, but it's a good starter. It's definitely a good starting point. And when you are starting out, you know, is there a huge worry about if there is sort of extra black lines on the side or not? It depends on how you feel about the video and what you want to do with the video too. Okay, so before we move on to text and color, I'm going to do my best to quickly walk through Splice with you guys. It's a very similar format to InShot, but it's just a little bit more funky. So it is one you can definitely play with as well. Again, it's free, so it's probably another one that's probably handy to upload and just have a play with the different formats and see which ones you like best. But essentially, you go into it, and it'll come up with sort of my projects. They've also got little inspiration videos as well for you to watch, which is really cool. So you can get some really good ideas of what you want to do. So say I want to do a new project. So I jump down that bottom one. I'm going to grab 2 videos. So I just literally click on them and they go blue. Go to next. We can put a project title in this. So I'm going to call it test. This is helpful though. And then it also allows, you can do automatically animated photos, which is so cool. And this is where you change your ratio as well. So you can choose vertical, standard. I'll pop this one portrait just for fun, just for something different. We'll go from there. Then you go up the top to press create. Okay, so my media is loaded in there and you can see the timeline going along there and all of your different options as per usual. So we can press play and run it through and check things and check where they are and figure out the bits that we need to audio. Yes, this webinar is going to be sent out so you can watch it again as many times as you need, as many times as you can handle my voice. Sorry. So it will be sent out to you afterwards. Okay, so again, you click on the media to cut to where you want to cut to. Maybe let's just go to his cute little face. And to before he jumped on me. Yep. And the same with this one. You can readjust this clip as well to wherever you want to. Down the bottom, again, is where all of your volumes and everything are. So once you click on a clip, it does the readjusting there. When you click off the timeline, so on the timeline, you have these options. When you click off the timeline, new options come up. So you can add more media, you can add text in there and effects, heaps of different music and overlays and everything as well. So if you click on overlays, it'll take you back to your camera roll. Okay, and you can maybe pick like a photo or another video. And what it does, so what I'm going to do is I'll adjust it so you can see. So what it's done is created a second timeline, and you can see it changes over the top. So it's very cool that that it automatically animates your photos. So you can see in that photo, it's moving and getting that key effect. I don't know if you can really see it, but it has a key effect. Again, on it, it's so much fun. You've got Chrome key. You can do little adjustments to it and play around with it. You can do transformations and make things really weird and change. So that's me putting a Chrome thing on it and changing things around. So again, Splice is a really fun one to just have a play with and see what you like and see what you want to do. There's so many different effects on it. It's really funky, really easy to use because it uses quite bright colors as well. The handy thing about Splice is that the highlights are like the whole thing is highlighted. The blues are quite fluoro. So it's very easy to see and very easy to manage. So I definitely recommend going and having a play with that one as well. So we'll look at text and colors and graphics now and the different effects that they have on your videos for text. So you don't have to tell the whole story when it comes to the video. So I know I keep on talking about all the text options that you can add into your video for over the top, but remember, if you're posting up on Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, and obviously onto your website and everything as well, and LinkedIn, you're going to have room to put copy at the top of the video. So, and it happens a lot with even a lot of my clients where they go, I want the video to say this and have this text on it and this text on it, completely forgetting that you've got space to actually explain anything that you need to in written form along with the video. So you should see video as a way to connect with people who are more visual, to tell a story without having to over bombard people with words. But you've got space so say you're doing a video that's about an event, you don't have to put every single detail about that event and links to your website and things that you're not going to be able to click on in the video. You'd put that in the copy of your post. So you can explain if it's a small business event, you would explain all of that in your actual copy. You would put the dates and highlights and everything on the actual copy, and then use the video to show the atmosphere, to see what the people are like, to see what happens at the event, and add a few other little highlights, maybe text along the way. But make sure you understand, you do have that copy space to add more detail, so you don't need to overwhelm the video with your own text. So as I've said in here, just use key phrases. So maybe a couple of hooks or a headline to do different headlines of different sections that you may be talking about. Call to actions at the end of your video, apply now with your logo at the end, and adding subtitles in there as well if it's a speaking to camera video, so people don't have to turn on the sound to hear what you're saying. Colors, make sure you stick with your branding colors to build some consistency along your content. So in most of the things that I do, I'll be using a dark teal and a gray, so that I stay within my own branding for Flip Switch Media. So think about that as well. I've got I've got a PR client whose colors are the pink. So all the text that we use is in pink. So it needs to really consider where you're placed. You know, you wouldn't be using a fluorescent yellow if your colors are actually green and orange. So it's just knowing how to stay within your brand and within your voice. Now, in your graphics, when I talk about graphics, I'm talking about logo animations, I'm talking about emojis, I'm talking about icons that could add an extra layer to your video and add extra detail to your video. So instead of saying click here, so if there is, you know, a link or something at the bottom, so if you've got a YouTube video and there's a link at the bottom that you want people to go to, you could just have the little guy pointing down as well. So you don't even have to say click here. It could just be a little thing pointing down to highlight to them that there is a link that they can go to for more information. That's just a really simple way to not, again, put too much into your video or get too overwhelmed with getting so much stuff into your video. Really, the simpler, the better. And this as well for graphics is also your titles and your headings. So making sure that your hook is really obvious, that your titles are quite obvious, whether you do decide to put them at the bottom of your screen or at the top of your screen, where is it going to be more consistent for you, what's going to be easier for you. Another example of sort of titles can be, so, oops, I went left, is a video I wanted to show you guys. So if we look at this sort of style of content, that's called a title, and you'll see at the bottom, the details of that photo will actually come up. So where those places are in the video will come up as titles. So that's just got a little bit of music. I don't know if you can really hear it. All that is a little bit of music, some photos of different places, who's taken the photo, where the photo is from, and a logo at the end. So that's a very, very simple video that you can easily put together. And what that does, and what that means as well, so that style of content is very, very easily remade, repeated, and able to be duplicated. So they can make those many, many times over with the same titles, the same headings, using different photos to really promote the area that they're promoting. And then as you keep on going, the more consistent you are with the branding and the layers and the things that you use, the faster people will know it's your video and they're watching your content, which is what you want. Do you have any more questions when it comes to sort of colors and graphics and things? You can add your own colors and set up your colors in Adobe Rush. And I think you can in Splice as well. So you've always got the correct color codes and everything within the apps too, so you can be ready to go. It's just a little bit of setup time, and it's literally 2 seconds. So it's perfectly fine. So that's all ones that you can actually do within the app themselves, and make sure that you're consistent along those files. Obviously, you would have seen all of the apps that we use, they keep your projects. So there's nothing stopping you from creating your own template that has the titles where it is, and then just swapping out the videos or the photos that you use so that you can create that really consistent style of videos. Another option I wanted to show you guys as well is very, very simple clips that use stock images. So I know I did a whole clip. I know 2 weeks ago we did a whole seminar about filming with your iPhone, but if there's any way for you to be able to use stock vision, and a lot of this vision is free, add your own titles to it and create it and turn it into your own. Obviously for stock, and especially if it's free, it means that other people are going to use it as well, and other businesses are going to use it. But that's okay. Like, you're a building business. That's what it is. Like, that's how it works. It's totally fine. And it's usable stuff. And if it means saving you guys time in creating your own video, and repeating some of the shots that maybe somebody on Shutterstock or like Getting Images or Artlist again may have already got. Why not use it? Yes, you can definitely do the same. If you're going to be using a video for Instagram, definitely put it across Facebook. Facebook does the square canvas as well. So it's not like you have to change it. I don't know about you guys, but I'm having issues with my connection between Instagram and Facebook at the moment, where if I post something on Facebook, on Instagram, it's not letting me directly post on Facebook. So I have to do it separately, which is a bit frustrating, but I know that you used to be able to, so I'm not sure what's going on there. But yes, use the same video and repeat, repeat, repeat. If you are across 2 different platforms, if you're using Instagram and Facebook, put your content on Instagram and Facebook. 100%. The more content, the better. So you want to be able to make sure you use it. You may want to change the copy on it depending on the type of content that it is, or the types of audiences that you have across both platforms. But there's nothing wrong with literally copying, pasting, and making sure that your content is on Instagram and Facebook and is exactly the same. It does not need to have changed. The little sneaky things about filming and creating your own content: repeat, repeat, repeat. Just remember, people are not going very far into your personal feed, whether on Instagram or Facebook or even YouTube and LinkedIn. They're not going to go that far into your feed to check out old content, which means if you've created a video you're really proud of and the video is completely timeless and the information is timeless or relevant, reuse it. There is ability on Facebook to just literally go to an old post, click on it and say create a post, which means you can recreate a new post using the old content. So you may have had new people start following you that wouldn't have seen your old content. You may want to remind people of some of your old content or an event that's coming up, workshop, the services that you provide, products that you show. So you don't have to keep on creating new how-to videos on how to use your product or new videos about a particular service or giving of information. Make sure you use those videos more than once across all of your different platforms, and then maybe once a month, even once every 2 weeks, depending on the type of content and information it is. Reuse the videos, readjust the videos, re-edit the videos, repurpose them. Make some, if you do one long video, can you create sort of 3 or 4 shorter 15 and 30-second pieces out of that content? Let's save you guys some time and try and create as much content out of as little as possible. Why not? The free stock, there's a couple of different sites where you can get stock video from. There's Shutterstock and Artlist. Again, Artlist is a subscription, but it's very good. But Artlist, Shutterstock, YouTube also has a library of royalty-free stock images and video that you can use, as does Canva if you use Canva. And just a reminder, if you are using stock, you can't get shitty if you see one of your competitors or anybody from another industry using the exact same video, because that's what it's there for, is for repeat use. But as I just said, it's not like people are looking that far back into your content that it has to be your own personal stuff and stuff created just by you every single time. There is absolutely nothing wrong with using stock to get your message across. So you can easily upload, download any stock images, stock videos to your phone and edit them the way you want. So you can actually flip them, you can color grade them, you can make changes to those stock videos to make it suit you as well. So even that one I showed you, the wear back one that was used on Destination Surf Coast, we flipped it because it was actually set, it was America. So obviously he was on the wrong side. So we flipped the image and made it Australian. So it's a very, very handy way of getting things across. Another great just going to check out some other great examples of things that you could do. See, like you can just add some cute little canvases around your video. So this can easily be done in InShot and in Adobe Rush. iMovie, not so much, but adding a little bit of coloring around it, adding some graphics. Obviously, that's a little bit, that's done in professional studio, so it's a little bit more high end, but it's another option. So spend the time doing some research, check out other videos that you like, other shorter pieces, go back through the archives of the things that you've already got and see what you can create out of it as well. If there are any more questions, please add them to the chat or any other information that you would like. Just go wild, have a play with the different editing apps as well. And it really is literally just having a play and practice and pressing all of the buttons and see what they do. Because remember, you can undo, you can delete, you can start again. So it's not a big deal. No one is seeing this video unless you want to post it. So just go wild and have a bit of go with everything and take the time to learn it. If there's no more questions, I guess this is the end of the editing seminar. You will be asked to provide a feedback form as well. So if you could please fill that out and make sure that the ASBAS Digital Solutions team have that. Thank you for coming along, Ivy. Really appreciate it. If you've got any questions, I'll sit here and wait and go through it all. But thanks so much for coming.